After 29 races this season, there's only one more run that will determine and decide who wins this championship. Last week, a thriller saw the rookie Hunter Madalenis return to victory lane for the first time in months. And in doing so, he leads the championship standings with our season finale on the horizon. For the fourth and final season of competition, the Monday Night Integrity Ignite Series is set to crown a champion, and it all ends today. Welcome back to the Final Five, the last round of the playoffs, and welcome back to the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the site of our championship race. On FTN Broadcasting, I'll be your host, David Croyd's commentating and producing. This is the big one, the race that every driver has been waiting for all throughout the year, and of course, one last chance to get a win, and for 5 lucky drivers, one last chance to win the championship. Today, the 07 of Hunter Madalenis joins us as our championship leader and perhaps the favorite with a 10-point advantage over the rest of the pack. He comes in after a thrilling performance last week, taking the victory and now leads the title standings for the first time this season. Hunter is only 10 points above your second place man in Thomas Bressi. Bressi has finished second in 2 of the past 3 seasons and was 13 laps away from winning the championship last season, and then had a critical internet failure that took the title away from him. Third place in the title running is another rookie, Jared Davis in the number 19. Davis, silent as ever, still has a very fair shot at the title, 22 points back on the overall lead for the championship crown. Then behind him is Blake Cannon. Blake only 1 point behind Jared. Today, of course, he's back on the racing circuit, and Cannon is a driver. As we look over to him, who is not to be messed with, he's got a reputation of success. He has won in both the Integrity Ignite and Octane series multiple times over. Davis taking his time right now. We are still waiting to confirm whether or not Blake Cannon is with us. His teammate Tom Wetmore has gotten onto the racetrack. He is going to be with Roadhouse Racing tonight. And of course, you got to look out for the final driver in the championship picture. Moving on from Cannon, that of course being Ethan Lane. Lane came in as the championship favorite. However, he is now 29 points back and must have a perfect race if he wants to win the title. Lane sits third in qualifying, while Thomas Bressi is down low on the track, and it looks like getting settled in to get another run going. With 30 seconds remaining, he will not have enough time, and it looks like he will stay at the back of the field and will be starting 28th of all those on track. And Bressi now is going to need a major comeback as Jared Davis takes the pole, and notably Hunter Madalenis qualifies in 4th. Outclassed by his competitors, it's going to be Thomas Bressi starting all the way at the back of the field, and Jared Davis with a critical pole position starting up front. When it mattered most, Jared Davis delivers, and he will take the green flag tonight as your pole sitter here from Homestead. Just like that, Davis and Ronnie Osmer, your front row. Lane and Madalenis are both on row 2, and they'll be starting just behind one of their championship competitors. Of course, Davis with the edge, 22 points back overall. Qualifying on pole is a huge deal. Four minutes on the clock as it stands until we get going all over again. The mile-and-a-half circuit has been used now as our championship finale destination year after year. Last season, Braxton Nuis was able to come home with the title, his first title as a full-season rookie, getting the job done over Thomas Bressi. Bressi was leading that title race in the final stages, but it all came undone. With less than 4 minutes on the clock now, qualifying has just about concluded, of course. last practice is on its way. So let's get to figure out who is where in this most important race. And you'll notice that 3 of your championship contenders are starting in the top 5. One of those drivers has grabbed the pole position. That will be Jared Davis. This is your starting grid for the 30th and final race of the Integrity Ignite Series this season. Jared Davis, inside of row number 1, captures the pole position. He'll be alongside Ronnie Osmer in P2. Davis taking the top spot with a 32.803. Ronnie Osmer only 23 1/1000ths of a second behind. Then you'll have Ethan Lane, Hunter Madalenas 3rd and 4th with Tom Wetmore P5 and DJ Stagner 6th place on the docket. 7th place goes Nick Tarbuck and Jacob Fife goes 8th with Jack Drucker and Brant McClendon wrapping up the top 10. 9th goes Michael Araya. He gets dropped down to 11th after Drucker and McClendon's qualifying times are set in. So Michael ends up sitting in P11, and Justin Morton wraps up the top dozen there in the number 9 car. 13th place, Elliott Henderson. Tyler Hensley goes then in 14th. To wrap up the top 15 is Matthew Thunhorst. Michael Stroll will end the season returning to us tonight. First race in months for the number 3 crew. He'll start today in 16th, with Vinny Tigner 17th and Nicholas Ward P18. Then you'll have Vinny Tigner, Nicholas Ward, and that's your 18th place man. Casey Shue, Josh Gallagher, Brandon Bernhardt, Boomer Logan, and Andrew Schaub go down to the number 86 in 23rd. Calvin Volarski is P24. To wrap up the top 25, it's Adam Wood in the 45. Then Kyle Cooper, Ryan Potter, Dak Oparka 28th, the last driver to take a time with Stephen Durham and Thomas Bressi, your last row. Bressi, a championship 5 contender at the back of your 30-car field. 15 rows, and from top to bottom, the top talent is everywhere. Pole sitter is Jared Davis. Riding shotgun in the field, Thomas Bressi. And you then have the rest of your title hopefuls everywhere in the mix. This is it, the most important, the highest stakes of the season, the race of all races. And for the Homestead-Miami Speedway, 140 laps await to end the 2025 campaign. Davis takes P1, and he will lead the field to green under the lights in Homestead, Florida. 57 seconds remain as it stands for all drivers as they get set to go once again. And of course, everyone ready now to build up to the big moment. The final laps, the last stretch, and the last drive. This is, of course, the most exciting part of the season for your championship hopeful, but also for the drivers, maybe like Ronnie Osmer, who are looking for one last shot at the win. Championship victory is not determined by if a driver wins or if they don't. It comes down instead to, of course, the amount of points they've accumulated over the final round, which means that for Davis, he still has to overcome a point deficit even if he wins. A victory does not automatically guarantee that he'll be able to go out there and win the title. If the drivers like Bressi and Madalenas finish right behind him, he'll be in a better spot. The 24, anyway, will be in a better spot than Davis regardless. The inside goes Thomas Bressi there, right alongside Stephen Durham. Those two will be lined up on the starting grid, 29th and 30th, and they will not be alone. They will have the company of the entire field right ahead of them. Checkered flag flies. 140 laps remain on the season, and it begins again for Thomas Bressi. Bressi has come into every single championship finale as a title-eligible driver. It doesn't matter when it's been. It has always been for him an opportunity to go out there and take the checkered flag as a championship winner. Charlotte, DJ Stagner got the better of him in her first ever season by just 2 points. Alec Daffin put on a miracle run in season 2 and was able to give way and end up the dominant man and of course, win our second season championship at the end of 2023. 2024 saw Braxton Deweese come to life and win the title at Homestead, and now, as we are set to go at it all over again, well, it's a very similar circumstance. Right now, double file, Homestead-Miami, another opportunity. But for the rest of your championship fighting class, they have not been here before. This is it. The last opportunity for any of them, but at the same time, for 4 of your championship 5, it is their very first. Jared Davis, pole sitter. He's in that boat of being a rookie and yet knowing the stakes are high. Blake Cannon, it appears, will not be racing with us tonight, so it goes down to a championship 4. This, of course, makes it tighter and takes Cannon out of the equation. Ethan Lane then will be sitting 4th in points, 29 down on leader Madalenas. Thomas Bressi is in the best chance, of course, of all drivers to make the best of the opportunity he has. Challenge Hunter Madalenas. He is 10 points down, but he's starting 29th. Lucky for him, Hunter did not grab the pole position, and so that means that he's not going to take that bonus point immediately. There's a little bit more time to recover, but it's going to take 100% effort to dig through the field starting that far behind. Lane was expected to be our championship favorite, but now he's in a Hail Mary position thanks to multiple wrecks across this stretch of races. He has been involved with the mid-pack more than he has been all season long, and now it may come to bite him. Jared Davis, one last shot. The championship 4, bring it to green, and with 140 laps left on the table, this is it for the Integrity Ignite Series. Green flags out one final time from Homestead. Let's decide a champion under the lights. Already, Jared Davis taking a several car length lead, the sun beginning to set, and very soon it will be pitch black out at Homestead-Miami. Ronnie Osmer is taking second and clearly, and a convincing gap now between the top 2 and the rest of the field. Thomas Bressi is already making moves early. 29th place starter has moved up to 21st and goes side by side with teammate Casey Shue for 20th. Last week, Casey Shue, taking a career best finish in 3rd, now finds himself falling behind the 24 once again. Bressi very likely would have been the top seed in the championship had he not accumulated front-end damage last week in Martinsville, late in the going, and as he did, he dropped outside of the top 10 and struggled to stay in the top 15 by the end of the night. With that happening, well, there's a caution back of the field. It looks like it will be the number 10 of Daco Parka, and the yellow is out. Take a look. An early yellow flag outside of the top 25 for Parka in the number 10. Steve Durham and Brandon Bernhardt also around, so we'll take a look back. Guys are rather unclear for what was a mostly sunny day in the sim. In the next few laps, that will fully clear out and visibility will be a little bit better for drivers and spectators alike. Oparka watching it began with Calvin Filarski, Steve Durham and company there. And a huge hit for the number 39 of Filarski. Take a look back now at Calvin. 24th place starter, now running 29th. Here's how it all began. Logan Cooper, Ryan Potter all around. Thomas Bressi broke through. And how lucky Thomas is, because had he been in this pile one lap beforehand, which he was, he could have been involved in your first caution of the day. That's the danger of being in the back of the field. Filarski, contact with Logan up the track, hooked high, and big trouble. Adam Wood involved, Steve Durham, Daco Parka, and the 86 of Andrew Schaub as well. 4 laps through, multi-car incident The luckiest of all, up 9 places, is Thomas Bressi. He's your biggest mover by a convincing margin, and Dak Oparka is surprisingly second on that tally, up a total of 6 places so far. Oparka, 28th to 22nd. Bressi has made his moves, however, and is now closer to the mid-pack than, of course, just a few miles ago, considerably closer, as a matter of fact. We'll go green next time by lap number 7, restart number 1. Getting back to business with Jared Davis again leading the way. Ronnie Osmer takes it for 2nd place. Then, of course, you'll have DJ Stagner 3rd, Ethan Lane 4th, Hunter Madalenis in 5th. So, 3 of your championship 4 tonight in the top 5. Blake Cannon not racing with us, so he will be ineligible for the title. And then, after that, you'll have Thomas Bressi up to 20th. So far, Davis is the only driver to get the bonus point for leading a lap, which means that Madalenis has been held at bay. The top 2 battle is still between Hunter and Thomas. Take a look at your championship standings. They're on your screen right now. Hunter has the best chance of winning the title based on the points buffer he has coming in. However, if anyone is to challenge him, odds are Thomas Bressi would be the best man to do so. Just based on the numbers, and if he gets in the top 10 race, it'll be a lot tighter between the 07 and the 24 than it would be anyone else. Jared Davis and DJ Stagner line up on the inside. Of the championship contenders, Jared Davis is the only one we have not heard from all year. If he wins the championship, I am not sure what we're going to do about that. He has opted not to take an interview all season long, and he is quite the anomaly. Not a driver in this field has heard from him at all. He comes in, he runs the races, and he bows out. The only time we heard from him here at FTN was the one race he missed at Daytona when he came in the YouTube chat room and asked how to register. The rest has been history, although it has also been much a mystery at this very same time. Davis gets the green. Behind him is DJ Stagner, and your first restart sees Jared up and away again. Davis down the back straightaway with the advantage of about a car length and a half. Ronnie Osmer takes it to the way high side. Then you'll have DJ Stagner, Ethan Lane working down low. Watch now for Hunter Madalenis in 5th place as he tries to get it a little bit closer. Already, though, Lane with a gap both the 64 of Stagner and the 07 of Hunter Madalenis already trying to divide himself from what's going on behind. Michael Araya, 11th up to 8th, is gained 3 on the day and now finds himself in the dicey position trying to gain a little bit more here. He'll head further outside. Hunter going to slot in to corners 3 and 4. So now he'll have a tighter connection to the inside of the track. Michael Araya up high again. Side by side with DJ Stagner. Across the line, Ronnie Osmer, your new race leader. Jared Davis has let off, and now your outside pole sitter has taken the overall lead. Ronnie Osmer, for the first time, your leader tonight, and he is the second driver to lead at least a lap in this race. Davis taking half of which. Now Michael Araya sending it up high. Michael in the number 44 car, of course. The last time he was here, he won a championship. That was in the Integrity Octane Series. He was not able to get the job done this season anyway in the Ignite Series. He came in on fire into the playoffs, but the last few races just have not been his best. He got back to the podium circle in the round of 10. And has seen success in his final round as well, but the first round was where he was eliminated and just could not work it out immediately off the bat. Multiple wins this season, he's gone up against the best in the field, and now is proving again that he's got the stuff. Michael around the outside. Lariah was able to take the championship last year from Wetmore on Tuesday nights in the final 2 laps of that race. It came down to a beating and banging match that luckily stayed clean, but it was ridiculously close. And with as close as it was, both drivers were able to get away luckily in one piece. Lariah winning a championship after a 10-win season. Tom Wetmore coming home after a winless season, second in the title race. However, that was the closest he was all season long to getting the job done and winning through and through. Right now, Michael Lariah leads and he's got the jump. Jared Davis still leads all of your championship drivers. However, according to the point standings, it's looking a little bit different. Hunter Madalenis is down to 10th. Thomas Bresci has only been able to get one spot up in 19th, and now he's starting to deal with a more competitive bracket of drivers. This is when the stakes get higher. Bresci right now in the middle of drivers who have won races and scored podiums. Morton, Tarbuck, Drucker, Ward, of course, is there with Vinny Tigner. And so now even getting into the top 20 becomes a huge task. Bresci was able to blaze through the opening group of drivers he had to pass from 29th on up. But now if he wants to get up to where Hunter Madalenis is, it's going to take a lot more diligence. And maybe it's going to take a little bit more luck. Elliott Henderson to the inside. Henderson sliding through. He'll make the pass. And that'll put him up to P10. Elliott for the first time tonight running inside the top 10 after qualifying 13th. Henderson, one of the quiet guys we've seen all throughout the season. And he's looking good, maybe to get himself a top 10 performance at the end of the day. 14 laps in out of 140. He'll chase after Hunter Madalenis. Hunter has a remarkable season behind him first and foremost. So before we even talk about other championship drivers, Hunter has made 26 starts. And of the drivers competing tonight, he and Ethan Lane, they are the only drivers who have themselves the fewest amount of starts. Fewer than 27. Thomas Bresci with 30 starts counted, Davis with 29, Blake Cannon to this point having 25, but he's not racing with us tonight. Madalenis missed the opening portion of the season and then came on strong. He got himself 4 wins before the playoffs and now sits with 5. And of your championship contenders, he has the second most wins. Hunter having 5. Ethan Lane having it 9. So the numbers are in Hunter's favor in that sense. When it comes to victories, Thomas Bresci is the only driver in the championship race not to have multiple. Thomas, as a matter of fact, only having himself 1. So with that said, Bresci has been as consistent as always, but has lacked the ability to get to victory lane multiple times. He got there once this season, and so far that has been it. Very rare for Bresci. He was able to win at Rockingham in April, but ever since then, he has been winless on the campaign. He's one of the drivers who has won multiple seasons through and through, so he knows what it's like, of course, 2022, 2023, and, of course, 2024. This is a driver and a team not to be messed with when it becomes a serious situation. Bresci's perhaps most impressive feat in the Monday Night Tour was sweeping the Talladega races in 2023, including a caution-free race, which was our second trip to Talladega. That time around, of course, it was flag to flag, and Bresci only won by the better part of a tenth of a second. Right now, however, Bresci has to keep on waiting as he is still stuck in 17th. Hunter Madalenis has fallen back into 10th, and it looks like right now that is about where he will lie. Single file for the top 10 as they run, and that has not changed. Hunter is up by 10 points, waiting right now to see what happens as Jared Davis has a chance to maybe open up the gap, but it looks like he's only fallen in reverse. Davis leads all championship contenders. Hunter Madalenis still would lead the net points in this situation. Ethan Lane in 11th is shockingly not making big moves. Now, generally, Ethan Lane has employed a different type of strategy this year, especially on Monday nights where he has laid back to begin with. But Tonight being so different, the circumstance being that you have to push all the way, this is a do-or-die race. I'm surprised to see that Lane is not going out there and trying to lead laps early. Every bonus point matters, including leading a lap, leading the most laps, and if that all comes together at once for a driver, those are just a few points that can be shaving away on the championship advantage or disadvantage, depending on who's who. Right now for Hunter, if he had led a lap, that would have been a great bonus point for him. Had he won the pole position, that would have been a great bonus point. He only missed the pole by 73 one-thousandths of a second, and those few extra thousandths lost could have helped him out immensely in the championship race had he just gotten there and taken the top step. Tyler Hensley up to fourth, matching his career best performance right now, his best ever run, coming in Portland and taking fourth place. The week after that, following up with a fifth place run. The JTM underdogs have been doing great as of late. Morton, the road ringer, getting a win in Portland. Hensley finishing fourth that night. Last week, Casey Shue going for third place. Now coming up to his inside is Michael Stroll, returning for Domination Intimidation Racing and finishing off the season. He is now there in fifth position, 16th to 5th on the day for Michael, and he is now 11 spots up on where he qualified. Stroll, nevertheless, just a few tenths off on the fourth place spot Hensley holds. Take a ride on board right now with Michael Stroll and see what's going on. Michael Araya seeing a battle ahead. Stroll right now has the inside taken by Thunhorst. In the meanwhile, it's Michael Araya and DJ Stagner running down the back straight together. Looking low, DJ Stagner not quite, but he's gotten the stuff. Remember, Stagner is your first ever Ignite Series champion. He got it done in 2023 in Charlotte in what was... It was an amazing race, first and foremost. It was a 300-mile finale, which is our longest ever championship finale race, and that was during the 15-race-a-season format. Stagner and Thomas Bressi came in with about 15 points of separation. All things considered, he barely came away with the championship. Thomas Bressi was able to cut down that point margin to only 2, and thanks to a horrible pit stop from the 64 team, he had some contact on the way into pit road the last time by. Stagner was only able to squeak out a top 15, but that was enough, and DJ took home the first ever Ignite Series championship. Now the Swamp Motorsport crew is looking to finish it off strong one more time, and it's a battle between past champions in this league, of course, to see what's next to come. Take a ride on board the backside of Michael Araya. Here's a 64 DJ Stagner. DJ taking it up to the high side consistently. And it looks like right now, Michael Araya the exact opposite, way down to the bottom. Ronnie Osborne third, Tyler Hensley fourth, and Michael Stroll is the biggest mover of all those in the top 5, but that could change if Thunhorst has his way. That time by Matthew, just a little bit quicker, just a little bit further ahead. Take a look at that. Tyler Hensley skating up to the top side of the track, and so now the 5 and the 3 give room, and Thunhorst skates and almost finds himself loose. Now, Matthew originally intended not to race all throughout the end of the season. He was set to miss one race in the middle of our championship run. he technically didn't miss last week, but he only ran 3 laps. He got on the racetrack, briefly took it down to pit road, and cycled around for a quick moment, only about 1.5 miles, and then bowed out. Now, for Thunhorse, that means that regardless, he wouldn't have been able to compete for the championship tonight, but the JTM guys swapping who had title eligibility and moving that over to Thomas Bressi. Bressi, who now runs in 14th place, is getting closer and closer to the championship guys ahead, and he has made quick work of the bottom half of the field, now surging up 15 places to go from 29th to 14th. If there's anyone who's got a shot in the arm tonight knowing this is it, well, Thomas Bressi is that man. The bridesmaid of bridesmaids in the Integrity Racing League's modern era. He does not want to go out on a low note. Next for him will be 2 great contenders, Brant McClendon, who has come into his own over the last few weeks, and of course, a championship contender who had an amazing race in the Octane Series last Tuesday, Nick Tarbuck. Tarbuck was able to take victory in a 250-lap slugfest from Martinsville. And talk about a slugfest. That race was long, it was arduous, and it was everything we expected Martinsville to be. Perhaps we didn't expect the winner to be Nick Tarbuck, but that's not to discredit him. He really worked everything out, just as he needed. Tarbuck came into that race more than 30 points back in the championship lead, and he needed basically a perfect night to win. He got that perfect night, led the most laps, and won, and so he is still in the championship race heading into tomorrow night. That will be at the Chicagoland Speedway, 9 p.m. Eastern, same place, FTN Broadcasting. Tarbuck, of course, got himself a little bit of a miracle thanks to that great performance. Not a common performance, mind you. It's something that we didn't expect to see out of any one driver really dominating Martinsville, but Nick, in the most important moment of his season, got it made. And so the checkered flag, it's his, that he's carrying over to this season finale. We'll see what he does with it next time around. Championship fight is going to be, of course, the final 5. Ethan Lane is the top-seeded driver on Tuesdays. He's the bottom-seeded driver here. And yet, interestingly, now he leads all drivers in the championship race, and he does so by a considerable margin. Right now, Ethan Lane in 5th is going to find himself ahead of Hunter Madalenis in P7. Thomas Bressi right here running in 13th. Jarek Davis has dropped back into 18th. And so it looks like right now Davis is struggling, even though he qualified on the pole 32 laps in. Now he has dropped all the way back. Bressi now to 13th place, though. Keep that in mind. As he gains, there's more pressure now on Hunter Madalenis to move up. Over the past 5 laps, Hunter has gone up to as high as 6th from 9th the last time we checked on him. He'll drop to the inside and get it on 5 Tyler Hensley. Hensley now down to P7, a few spots back on his high of 4th. Ethan Lane side by side now with Matthew Thunhorse for that 4th position. Nice and easy run, right out of turn 4 there for Lane, no considerable problems. Hunter Madalenis still with Tyler Hensley. Hunter leading Tyler out of the corner. Michael Stroll up on the wall. He'll catch the catch fence once or twice. That'll bring him side by side with Jacob Fife. Fife, your league owner, having a solid season this year. A victory in the Octane Series, but again, he finds himself winless going into tonight in the Ignite Series. He only has himself 2 career wins in this series, and after the better part of 90 races, it's a surprise that Fife, who has taken multiple wins in the Octane Series, has not really been able to convert that success over to Monday nights. He started off strong in the Octane Series with a 4-win campaign in 2023. He went winless in the Ignite Series, however. Then, he went for an opposite effect, where he won 2 races in the Ignite Series last season and was not able to win it all on Tuesday nights. Well, practically nobody did, so I don't think that's really a fair comparison. But this time around, Fife's lone win on the calendar came in Las Vegas very early this year, in which he took the checkered flag in a remarkable strategy race in Sin City, where he proved that not only was the unpredictable strategy the way to go, but that nobody could keep up with him. A 2-tire call in the final laps of the race turned out to be the big move that propelled Fife over 35 other drivers take the win. Jacob Fife getting to the inside. Thomas Bressi, 29th up to 12th. Now 2 spots away from the top 10. And so then you'll have 3 of your championship contenders again in the top 10. Hunter Madalenis in P6 might have to watch out here because for the first time all night long, Thomas Bressi is a threat to be in the very same frame as him. Did you see that? Did you see Thomas Bressi peeking in? Because now it looks like he's there to the inside on the number 3 of Michael Stroll. That is for 11th. Your 29th place qualifier is making it big, and that is another critical move. One of those moments where there's no going back. Now the top 10, he's set to chase it. Within 4 seconds of your leader, Thomas Bressi has gone from all the way to the back of the field, where of course now it's impossible to even go thanks to retired drivers to the top 10. And a real chance at the championship is born again for Bressi and team as he comes up on a 4-driver fight, beginning with Tom Wetmore and ending with Jacob Fife. He gets by these guys, the next one up for him is Hunter Madalenis, and that's when the real fun begins. Right now, both Bressi and Madalenis are close enough to Ethan Lane where Lane's current position won't do him any favors in the championship and it won't win him the title if the race were to end right now. As they run, Hunter Madalenis has the championship advantage over Thomas Bressi, still extending that points gap over Thomas as they run. However, the distance has become a lot shorter, and so it means that he's got to consider alternative outlets from this point forward. Bressi to the outside on Jacob Fife, looking quicker down the back straightaway, and into 3 and 4 they'll go. Now it's 70 laps in this opening half of the race. I don't think we're going to be seeing drivers going for a one-stop strategy, and if they do, it's going to be very tricky to get there. Estimates are that fuel loads will only take us up to the first 60, 65 laps. To stretch it for 70 is a huge marker and a lot different from what these drivers look like they're preparing for. I'm not seeing a lot of that fuel saving out of anyone, particularly here for Thomas Bressi. He now finds himself going for 9th place, heading to the inside, and for the single digits, Thomas Bressi now up 20 places, and he's looking to clear. And that he does. Thomas Bressi by Tyler Hensley, a huge move for the 24, and that'll get him around for 9th. Taking a moment to listen there to the in-car sounds for Thomas Bressi. And I don't know if there's other drivers maybe doing it, but currently it's very clear Thomas Bressi not saving his stuff as he gets up there to 7th place. Another spot taken for Bressi, and now he has climbed over 20 positions in the opening 40 laps. Elliott Henderson drops back, and Bressi is in a world of his own right now. Pass after pass, driver after driver. Next for him would be Tom Wetmore. Keep in mind, Bressi is one of only 2 drivers without a validated qualifying lap tonight, meaning he started at the back of the field and there is no way around it. The only other driver like that was 30th place starter Durham. And Durham, as a result, right now finds himself in 20th. Both have made big moves, but only one has gone this far, and that, of course, is Thomas Bressi, finding himself now side by side with Ronnie Osmer. Well, Osmer right now, as you can see, something else is going on. Ronnie is no longer on the lead lap, but he is fast, and why? He went down to pit road for his first stint of the day. And so Ronnie will be one of the very first to call it in the pit road, and he looks like he just went down. Ronnie Osmer now 1 lap down after going down to pit road at lap 41, will be one of the first of the front runners to try and take that call. Michael Araya to the inside on Ethan Lane, and a very familiar fight begins once again between the number 6 and the number 44. Now, if Ethan Lane can stay this far ahead of Hunter Madalenis, this is a big deal, but again, he is 29 points back. That is a 30-point deficit, and Madalenis is still inside the top 5. Now, this position will put Ethan Lane ahead of Thomas Bressi. That could change very quickly with the way that Thomas Bressi's been moving. A across the line, new race leader, Ethan Lane. Lane's got himself up on the wall, though. He'll scrape it slightly, and that's going to give an advantage now to Michael Araya. But that speed is taken away as Ronnie Osmer gets in the mix, and the lapper involves himself, but he doesn't do anything. Now he's in the middle of the lead fight and just trying to find a way out. Ronnie gets up high. Here comes the number 5. And coming to pit road is DJ Stagner from third on the field. Michael Araya just went in, and it looks like at about lap 45, you're starting to see serious contenders make it to pit road. So there's a chance now that we see this race split in thirds, and here's how it would work. The third waypoint of this race is exactly where we are right now, in between lap 46 and lap 47. And if drivers want to go for a two-stop strategy, they would come in right about now, come in again at about lap number 92 or 93, and then go on that final pit stop to get to the end of the race. So, if that's the case, what's going to happen now for guys like Lane, guys like Laraya, and notably your championship hopeful? When will they decide to go in? Thomas Bressi is definitely getting closer to Hunter Madalenis, by the way. Now the gap between them has shrunk to what is only about 0.7 of a second. Hunter, even though he's had the track position and hasn't had to push as hard for this spot, it looks like he is considerably slower now than the ever-charging Thomas Bressi. And whether Thomas has been on autopilot inside the cockpit here, or of course if he's just been digging harder and harder each time by, whatever's going on for Thomas right now, it is absolutely working. And what a race it is when everything clicks. And if Thomas wants to win a title, he's got to go out strong and do it just like you're seeing. To the inside, Bressi for 5th from 29th on the grid. Now this is the moment of truth. Bressi is going to go up against Madalenis for the first time tonight. And for Thomas's sake, he can't afford to have this become a very slow run and a very long run against the 0-7. What it really comes down to right now is making it a swift pass. Hunter's now going to go around on Matthew Thunhorst. Thunhorst, of course, being Bressi's teammate. How hard is he going to make this battle? Will we see side-by-side games being played with a teammate factor come into effect? Well, right now, will Thunhorst have any retort? Wetmore to pit road that time by. Matthew doesn't look quick enough to go at it again, and that's going to box DJ Stagner up, but no, 3-wide split. Stagner goes through. Madalenis up to the wall. Matthew Thunhorst with one more shot, but still not quick enough. Either way, for Thomas Bressi, that was some perfect timing for DJ Stagner to come into the mix and try to fight with the 0-7 and the 8 respectively, particularly, of course, watching as Madalenis right now faces more pressure from Thunhorst. But to the inside, to pit road, Thomas Bressi decides to go. He'll come in earlier than the 0-7 at lap number 50. Michael Araya stays out. Bressi drops in. And so now it's going to be Madalenis up to second. And I think right now he's going to be going to try and lead a lap before he heads down to pit road. Again, drivers can go up until lap 60 if they so please. But the risk runs further the longer these drivers go. So Michael Araya might decide to come down to pit road the next few times by. He doesn't do it this time around. But if he does decide to do so, then he'll run less of a risk for the long run next. And, of course, sacrifice that position earlier. Matthew Thunhorst comes in with Jack Drucker and Tyler Hensley, while Steve Durham and Brant McClendon get on the way. And that's going to be the big group of drivers to watch out for right here, right now. Thomas Bressi getting back on the racetrack. Hunter Madalenis has already put him more than a lap down. And Michael Araya leads still by a second. The group of holdouts has become fewer and fewer, and they are now significantly more strung out. Laraya that time by stays on the track. Watch and see who decides to come in. It looks like all but 9 drivers have gone to pit road for this sequence. Now Brandon Bernhardt and, of course, Ryan Potter, they've gone down to pit road, but they went down very early after that first caution. So otherwise, you've got these drivers who are holding out on the very start of the race strategy. Everyone else has gone down to pit road. Michael Araya now being passed by Ethan Lane. Lane looking to take the race lead back as soon as he can. And that's going to leave Araya still on the lead lap, but with a rival to look out for when he gets back up there. Jared Davis now running 6th and last of all those holdouts. Davis has definitely fallen back much more than he would like. He's not really in the same ballpark as the drivers that he wants to be with. He's about 11 seconds back on Michael Araya, and it looks like with those struggles continuing, it's going to take a lot for him to win this championship. And of course, I don't know if it's going to happen through one long green flag run. He's got 11 seconds of distance to make up after the pit stop cycle relative to Michael Araya. 54 laps in out of 140. That time by, Elliott Henderson stays out, as does Matt Alenis, but you'll see there, Hunter getting passed by Thomas Bressi, and Bressi is convincingly quicker. Of those on new tire, Thomas right now runs in 5th. DJ Stagner would still be the leader of all those on new rubber. Then about 6 seconds back is Ethan Lane. Then you got Wetmore. Then you have Thomas Bressi. To the inside, however, goes Michael Araya. Araya brings Hunter Madalenis. 1, 2, and 3. Elliott Henderson, 13th to 3rd, also comes down. And so, it's going to be Araya and Madalenis together, which means that Hunter's not able to lead a lap, and so Casey Shue instead takes those honors. Casey Shue with teammate Justin Morton stay out, so JTM is now 1st and 2nd again. And now we'll see what happens for guys like DJ Stagner when they come across the start-finish line. Watch now, Madalenis in pit road, DJ Stagner rounding the back straightaway. Do these guys cycle up together? And how clear is the advantage right now for Hunter? Looking at these two, the 44 and the 07, they'll come out in unison. Thomas Bressi in 11th, and it looks like he is convincingly now ahead of both. As these guys make it into the second set of corners, Thomas Bressi now going to be running in 10th, and across the line, Bressi is ahead of Madalenis. The only title contender he's not ahead of is Ethan Lane. Lane finding himself right now 4 seconds up, but the gap between them is only 2 positions. Whereas Bressi to Madalenis is now 7 spots and a much wider gap. So the advantage after 58 laps in this championship race is now with Thomas Bressi. Bressi's got the lead relative to the 07 of Madalenis. Ethan Lane being 29 spots back, of course, points-wise. He's in a much worse position, and he would have to get by DJ Stagner to even have a realistic chance of winning the title. For Lane, it's basically win or go home. He doesn't have any other choice but to consider victory as the only option. 29 points back, nothing else would be near enough. Coming across the line, 59 laps in out of 140. Right now, everyone waiting on Casey Shue. Shue is the only driver right now who is still holding out. Now Jared Davis, of course, is going to be there with them. Number 4 and 19, respectively, for JTM, and, of course, the independent 19, swapping spots. Oh, Davis, your leader in the wall! Jared Davis is the leader, and he just got destroyed out of 4. Season over. Davis, your pole sitter, rockets up to the outside wall. The caution's out at lap 60. And in the only shot he had to reclaim the lead, Davis blows it. Was it contact or was it just driver error? Now we're going to find out. Take a look on board with Davis. Now he was coasting and trying to save as much fuel as he could. Casey Shue very quickly swung into pit road and, oh, contact. Up the track, Davis not in full control at that point. and the 19 car with critical damage as the yellow flag flies. Now, basically every driver has gone down to pit road, and for Davis, that is his night and that is his season. He won't be able to take the championship. And unfortunately, with that being a one-car incident, everyone cycles together up front, all on a new set of rubber. Second caution of the day. This might be the best case scenario for Thomas Bressi above all people. 29th up to 6th on the day. He's now 23 spots higher than where he started, and better yet, he is 7 spots up still on Hunter Madalenis. And now with track position, we'll see really how quick he is as everyone decides to go down and in, except for Boomer Logan. Logan will stay out, get a lap back, and return to the leaders of the field as your 25th man on the lead lap. There's Matthew Thunhorst. Matthew now 15th to 1st, being the first holdout. We only just went down to pit road, so it's not surprising for drivers to avoid it. But the leaders, by and large, all deciding that was the right call. So let's take a look and see who gets out first. Bressi already on the way. It's going to be Ronnie Osmer, DJ Stagner, Ethan Lane, Jack Drucker, Tom Wetmore, and then Thomas Bressi, followed swiftly by the number 3 of Michael Stroll. The remainder of the field comes out. Ryan Potter there, just eking out ahead of Stroll. Then Nick Tarbuck, followed by Jacob Fife. And further back, Hunter Madalenis, of course, decides not to be. He'll move up. 07 taking 3rd in track position. Bressi deciding to go for a slightly riskier call of once again losing track position, but he came from 29th and got up there. So for him, working from 13th should be considerably easier. The only driver who really can say he's been there and done that. And now he'll have to do it again. Double file all the way down with 63 laps in the books. Lap 70, your halfway point. This pit stop cycle acting basically right in line with your first. For the drivers who went down to pit road now, we're expecting a 3-stop strategy. For those who didn't, it would still be a 2-stopper. And that should be good enough to get them to the end of the race. Next pit stop cycle for your holdouts. Expected at around lap 90. For those who just went in, they could go the distance up to about lap 100. Thomas Bressi down low there with Ryan Potter. He's going to have to catch back up to Ethan Lane. Lane still has the advantage over him. DJ Stagner right with Matthew Thunhorst, Michael Araya, 11th up to 2nd for Araya. Matthew 15th to 1st as he tries to end the season with one more win. Here we go again. Green flags out. Second restart of the day. And it's time as Thunhorst burst out for a multi-car length advantage. Josh Gallagher, 20th up to 6th. This is the highest spot he's running all night long. The best shot for this 96 team is coming here and now. One of the holdout guys on older rubber, but not old enough to really drop him down the ladder so quickly. Can clean air make the difference for some of these drivers that haven't had the shot before? Now it's about time we find out. Side by side between the 96 and the 64 again. DJ Stagner right up high. DJ letting go on Ethan Lane. Lane has now gotten up into 6th place overall, and it looks like he is only looking further and further up the way. Not going to be easy to reel him back in. As you can see right now, 3 wide just behind. Lane wants that lead, and relative to his championship competitors and contenders, that's everything he's looking for. Thomas Bressi now running in 10th, and he's going to have to get by this close fight ahead of him Drucker, Osmer, Stagner, and company all need to be basically disposed of if he wants to keep making his way. Hunter Madalenis up to second behind you. So your championship leader has the edge above everyone right now, and the tables have turned again. By staying out on the racetrack, Hunter is reaping the early benefits of this short run. If we go any longer, though, say we see 25, 30 laps, not sure whether or not that's going to stay the same. It might, of course. The difference between he and a run for Bressi is not significant. However, it might just be enough to turn the tables. Last time Hunter went down to pit road lap number 56. Last time for Bressi, 61. So that's about 4 or 5 laps. A few drivers going in at lap number 52. Others as early as lap number 61, of course. So here's how it's going to go down. You got some drivers who are on slightly fresher rubber, and in a short run, that doesn't really make a difference. But 5 laps is the equivalent to just about 7.5 miles. So that's going to be 7.5 extra miles of wear to carry each and every lap. And tire wear gets worse and worse and worse before you have it. As a result, what you're seeing right now might be better for the guys on a short run, but Ethan Lane is very quickly proving he's faster than all those he's around. While Hunter Madalenis takes the race lead, Ethan Lane is going to have one final shot on the 0-7 here. Will he go side by side this time by? Not quite, but Ethan Lane has room to make a move. To the inside goes Lane. Ethan Lane to the top of the track now. And a quick pass for the number 6 grip. Of course, the 16 to the race lead. Now, Hunter Madalenis trying to go back on him and cross him over. Hunter lower than Lane, and he's side by side again. But he just can't cut it. Lane's going to drop back. That's a car length being lost. Then you'll have Michael Araya in third. Meanwhile, Thomas Bressi now up to the top 5 under green for the first time tonight. And he just got by Jack Drucker. That's for 4th. So Bressi is in a great position now if the cards fall where they may. Madalenis has older tire. And relative to the drivers he's around, more and more he's surrounded by drivers who are on younger tire. Which means that if he falls like the rest of those on the same strategy, he may drop out of the top 10. If that is the case, Thomas Bressi is going to be able to reclaim the points lead, and if he just keeps Ethan Lane in check, doesn't have to beat him tonight, just has to keep him in check, Bressi can win the championship by staying inside the top 5. Now, of course, the end goal is going to be to win it all and just take the race victory, but Lane right now is looking dominant, and when Ethan gets wide open, it's hard to stop him. 71 laps into this race, 70 laps remaining. We have already reached that halfway point, and we still have time to spare. Jack Drucker going to be with Ronnie Osmer. Side by side between the Lariah crew and Jack Drucker alike. Ronnie getting the watch, and DJ Stagner has dropped back down to 7th from his qualifying spot in P6. So down 1 on the day for the DJ Stagner crew. He's got some laps led, but it looks like right now it is all Ethan Lane who has been able to burst out, and the new tire has proven the difference. Stagner up high. He'll take that 2nd and 3rd group for a while to ride. Drucker down to the bottom, as is Thomas Bressi. Side by side now, this one's for 2nd. Bressi across the line with a push there from Ronnie Osmer. And down low, Bressi takes the spot from Hunter Madalenis. 29th to 2nd. Unbelievable. And Bressi, for the first time tonight, is ahead of the 0-7. Take a look from the deck lid of Bressi's Camaro, and Madalenis has fallen back to 5th. Qualifying in the back of the field did not deny Bressi of going for it, and now he's got himself a championship advantage he's been waiting to see for nearly a full hour. 67 laps remaining. Talk about a moment of truth. And this is it, the here and now. While Ethan Lane has the lead, he's 29 points back on Madalenis and 19 back on Bressi. To only be 1 position ahead is not enough. Meanwhile, Thomas Bressi now is seeing that gap ever expand relative to Madalenis. And Hunter, try as he may, now doesn't have the grip and equipment to really defend himself. Jacob Pipe going side by side, and this is for 7th. And it looks like the advantage is now very clearly with Jacob as he comes across the line again. Take a ride on board with Hunter and see what goes on as he's slipping back. It looks like right now just not having the pace and not having the grip. And a situation like this can only be corrected by going down a pit road. Horrible to think about it like that, but right now for Thomas, he's got a much better situation. Bressi right now is broken out, and Hunter Madalenas, by virtue of trying to stay out on the track, is now beginning to suffer. And Bressi leads the way, and he is holding down the fort. If he just leads a lap here, as Ethan Lane scrapes the wall, the tables really turn in Thomas's favor. 10 points the gap, mind you. Bressi right now coming in 10 points under as your second place man in the championship. Hunter Madalenas coming in as the title leader. Then you'll have after him Jared Davis, who is bowed out of this race, Blake Cannon, who is not racing, and then Ethan Lane. And while Lane leads, a victory will not automatically guarantee him the title. And so Ethan right now not being able to get away from Bressi basically means he cannot win the championship. Up in the wall once again, scraping it and getting to his inside. Thomas Bressi side by side, down the back straightaway. He's got a shot to take the lead. To the inside of turn 3, from last up to first, Bressi is your race leader. And with taking this lap from Ethan Lane, that's a bonus point much needed for the 24 team. Lap led, Thomas Bressi. And Hunter Madalenas just fell down to 12th. Championship tables have turned. Bressi now leads the title race with 62 laps to go on the season. Now, how hard is he going to pressure Ethan Lane? Honestly, if you're looking at it right here, right now, I don't think the right thing to do is to go 100% on Lane. Obviously, you want to keep him in check. Obviously, you don't want to let him loose. But at the very same time, jeopardizing your race for one extra spot, which won't guarantee you the championship, well, I don't think it's going to be the right thing to do. I think Bressi right now, sitting in second, is a lot better of a circumstance. All the while, Madalenas has dropped back now to 12th place, and that is the lowest he has run all night long. From leading the way, getting into the upper fight, the only thing Hunter has not done, which is now going to come back to bite him, is he has not led a lap. He was close to doing so. Had he gotten a little bit closer, had he gotten one more lap relative to Michael Araya, well, that would have been another bonus point. But now it appears that he doesn't have the stuff. And until tires turn around, and of course pit stop cycles change, right now the difference has been made, and it's all advantage Thomas Bressi. And notably, even if Hunter Madalenas goes down to pit road to get new tire, it's not like Thomas Bressi cannot match him. We're now at 60 laps remaining, looking past lap 80, and coming to lap number 82 as a matter of fact. For Hunter Madalenas, the estimates are that his pit stop cycle will only run him at most 20 more laps if he really tries to run it out. That would take him to about lap 100, lap 105, and I don't think going anything longer than that would really be the right thing to do for any driver here. So Hunter still has one more pit stop in him to save his race. Running in 12th is not a horrible place to be, and that's all he's going to need right now just to have a shot to stay intact. But falling any lower before his next pit stop is going to be a game changer, and it might just be game over. 59 to go. Watch to the inside as Thomas Bressi again tries to make a move. Ethan Lane is rubbed up against the wall, perhaps one too many times, side by side down the back straight again. But Ethan is still quicker. If this was a winner-take-all race, Lane would still have the advantage. Oh, he gets up at the wall scraping. Big scrape that time by, and there's no denying Thomas Bressi will have it across the stripe. Lane with a run, though, takes it right back. And Ethan Lane is somehow unstoppable for as many times he's gotten to the wall. The best with the outside line, without a doubt. Ethan Lane has been tested time and time again now against Bressi, and he has not only not yet faltered, but he has not shown any signs of stopping. The unstoppable nature of this number 6 team has been the theme of this season. 9 wins in the Ignite Series, double-digit all over again in the Octane Series, more than 20 wins in this league. The only driver to do so across both the Ignite and Octane Series in one season. To the inside goes Thomas Bressi, right down low. But that time around, not side by side. Across the line again, this is the third time they've gone side by side. Bressi got the edge once. Lane has gotten there twice ahead. Looks like he did it again. 55 laps to go here. Hunter Madalenas has been able to hang tight, and I think also you're going to see some drivers pulling back even if they have new rubber. And this is where Hunter's natural pace is going to come into play and give him the benefit. Again, Hunter is one of the best, and he is here for a reason. A 5-time race winner, the second most wins this season. If there's any driver who can dig himself out of this hole, it is Hunter, without a doubt. And luckily for him, Ethan Lane isn't really in the championship consideration right now just because of how poor the last 2 races have been for him. So while you can't scratch Ethan's name off, I mean, you gotta look at it like this. Lane, as they run, is 29 points back on Madalenas, and he's only about 11 spots ahead. It's going to be very hard for him to find a way and break that up in his favor. With that being said, for Madalenas right here, Thomas Bressi being the leader is a much more dangerous position. Take a look at that. Number 24 across the line tries to get it. Again, the run off the outside corner is close. Lane finds a way. That was 23 thousandths across the stripe. These two are going side by side as if it's them head on head for the championship. Of course, again, it doesn't matter who's who. Lane needs to keep on digging. Ethan right now cannot lose a spot if he wants to win the championship. If Thomas just gains 1, this championship is his to lose. That's the difference. The pressure is on for Lane to keep every spot he has. The pressure would be off if he only keeps 1 spot or gains it for Bressi. Yellow flag is out. Caution in the field again. It looks like it's Casey Shue in the number 4. Take a look back and figure out what happened for our 3rd caution of the day. So as they ran, Casey Shue was coming into turns 1 and 2 and found himself side by side. Hunter Madalenas and the number 69 to Tom Wetmore behind him. And notably, Madalenas was in this mix at the time of incident. Contact with a 0-7 and he goes down to Tigner. Hunter gets very lucky. Tigner doesn't. And Casey Shue goes around. Tigner getting some front end damage as the caution flies. Take a look one more time, and this time we'll focus more on what happened here with the 0-7 in Madalenas. Hunter was right behind, and it looks like, minor contact sets it off. And Casey Shue drops low. Had he gone high, Madalenas would have had damage that could have been race-ending there. So he's going to be in a perfect situation now as everyone comes down to pit road to save his race and season. For Bressi, opposite case. Everyone on new tire, the best of the best rise up front, which means he'll have tighter competition all over again. 51 laps to go. Coming out of pit road first, it will be Ethan Lane, then Thomas Bressi, Ronnie Osmer, DJ Stagner, Jack Drucker, Ryan Potter, Nick Tarbuck, and Elliott Henderson, with Jacob Fife and Michael Stroll wrapping up the top 10. as they run. Very similar structure on the way out. Madalenis is in P12, just where he ended up. Ronnie Osmer behind Thomas Bressi, barely, and Ethan Lane again keeps the race lead. The field will set it off with only 50 laps remaining, rather 49 laps to go from this point forward. And the finishing touches on this season are coming right up. The battle for the championship will come down tonight between those three men. Ethan Lane, who needs to win to take it all. Thomas Bressi, who just needs to keep Madalenis at bay. And Hunter now, who can bring it all back together by returning to the front of the pack. The championship lies in his hands and he controls his destiny, Hunter. Everyone else is at his mercy. Nobody's in a lucky position right now except for that 0-7. Having that 10-point advantage, it's do or die for anyone who comes to challenge him. Third up to first this time by Ethan Lane. 29th to second, the man right behind him, right beside him now is Thomas Bressi. DJ Stagner's back inside the top 5. We'll see if he can give a better fight now that everyone's on the same rubber. Big let off on the inside. That'll give Madalenis the inside group to go 3 immediately. Green flags out. It's a scuffle at the heart of the pack. And we're back on the way again with our third restart of the night. Ethan Lane topping everyone, and he's the only driver to get out there quickly. The podium places have yet to be fully decided and locked in. Tarbuck down low. Ronnie Osmer, wiggling up there, goes to 55. Luckily, he's going to be able to straighten that out and put it together in one piece. Toe-to-toe now with Jack Drucker. Drucker ducks to the inside with 48 laps to go. Jack right there in the highest spot he's been in all night long in the fight for the race win. Hunter Madalenis right now is going to be sitting in 11th place. Hasn't yet been able to make it into the top 10, but I would be surprised if he's holding it off for any longer. He's got ahead of him Fife, Stroll, then Lariah and Elliott Henderson. And with new tire now, there is no excuse. He basically has to get into the top 10 for a chance to win the championship. Now it looks like Ethan Lane gets shuffled back. Ethan down in P5. 3 wide, he'll lose 2 positions. And the field has just gotten to Ethan Lane. Michael Stroll up in the wall once again. Very similar spot for him, but he keeps it alive in the number 3. Michael right up to the top side here, still trying to make things work out. And while he's squeezed, it looks like everything works out fine. Domination Intimidation Racing back as a multi-car enterprise for the final time this season. Stroll and, for the most part, 29 and Nick Tarbuck have been working together throughout the past several seasons, and they're back on track again. Michael Stroll tonight, of course, making a return on what has been, for the most part, a hiatus this season. And now the 29 and 3 again, seeing one another, and it has been that long time coming. Great to have them back on track. Both succeeding right now. Tarbuck, of course, in 5. Hunter Madalenis, now the excuses have worn off, and he knows it. He takes it up into 9th. DJ Stagner ahead of Thomas Bressi, and I think with Madalenis in the top 10, Thomas Bressi has to apply that Ethan Lane mentality, and he has to go and win this race. Ronnie Osmer getting him to his side won't make it any easier, and Michael Lariah making it 3 wide will make it even less so. Side by side for second. DJ clearly has the lead. Michael Lariah is able to take it. And that's going to move Michael up into second place. Thomas back down to third. Elliott Henderson, 13th up to 7th, has gained 6 spots on the night. Now ducking down low on Nick Tarbuck, trying to take another. Elliott has remained a convincingly strong driver throughout tonight's performance, and it began, of course, starting around the top 10, getting up there to start the first pit stop cycle, qualified 13th, and he has been on the up and up ever since. Michael Stroll, 16th to 8th. Still, nobody able to hold a candle to tonight's biggest mover, tonight's definitive biggest mover. 29th up to 4th, Thomas Bressi. There is basically no way to stop or top that, and I think everyone knows. Coming around the way to the inside, there goes again Ronnie Osmer. Osmer is going to block and continue to cover. Thomas Bressi here watching as Jack Druffer gets by, and if Bressi falls further back and Madalenas gets ahead of him, the championship tides turn once more. Take a ride on board now with the number 24, Bressi. Elliott Henderson making a pass, that one for P4, as Thomas Bressi goes to slide and get it back. He's trying to get one back on Jack Drucker. 41 laps to go, coming to 40 this time by DJ Stagner alongside Michael Araya. And still, no big difference made with 40 laps to go. Ronnie Osmer running in P3, 3/10 back, and now the championship spoilers have come together, and they're really beginning to fight. Stagner, of course, a first-time champion of the Ignite Series, and then we've seen the immense success of Michael Araya across the Octane Series and the Ignite Series as well. Both of these drivers have proven themselves, and they have held their own, and now they get to battle to close out this chapter of the Integrity Ignite Series. Up top again, and for the second time tonight, DJ Stagner takes it high on Michael Araya. Araya ducks it low. Elliott Henderson, 13th up to 4th. Still getting that pressure here from Thomas Bressi. Hunter Madalenas has not been able to move considerably high up into the top 10, and that leaves Thomas Bressi in a position to control his destiny. Again, a driver controls their destiny if the point situation is in their favor. If Hunter Madalenas was ahead of Thomas Bressi, he would control his destiny. Likewise, if Thomas Bressi was considerably ahead of Madalenas, he would hold control. Ethan Lane, for example, is a driver who, no matter what, does not control his destiny on the racetrack tonight. Even if he is leading the way, he would not end up as the top driver, points-wise, unless everything fell into his favor thanks to outside circumstances. So if you're Ethan Lane, 3rd to 13th, of course, is one thing. And now he's fallen back 3rd to 12th, mind you. Even if he leads, there's no confirmation as to whether or not he'll be able to pull it together and fulfill a championship opportunity. Unless the drivers like Bressi and Madalenas have big mess-ups, you just won't see it for certain. Bressi has been able to come through from the back of the field all the way on up right now, but it looks like he's facing his biggest challenge. Hunter Madalenas is slotted in P10, and if he remains slotted in that position, being in the top 5 just might not be enough. The only differentiating factor, the biggest one, is that Thomas has led a lap, while Hunter Madalenas is still chasing after just one. And that bonus point right now is the separation that keeps these drivers right on the needle of the championship. Elliott Henderson staying ahead of Thomas Bressi, though, will be a big killer for the 24 program, and he needs to find a way around and fast so as to make sure he's got a buffer in case Madalenis makes it through. Both drivers are single file and tucked in and still haven't made it around. DJ Stagner leading only half a second ahead. He hasn't really gotten away from Thomas Bressi as tire wear begins to set in. Drivers now running 34-second laps when the barrier for the fastest lap times approach the sub-33s in qualifying. That time for DJ Stagner, 34.356, 34.336 for Thomas Bressi. He was faster than your race leader. Hunter Madalenis still watching, and he hasn't been able to get ahead of neither Jacob Fife nor Nick Tarbuck. Fife all the way up to the high side, going to lose a lot of momentum through the corners and try to take it back through the straight. Ethan Lane has also fallen out of the top 10, and you'll see him there. As they run, the points have not been calculated, so we can request that from the admin team, but as it stands, it's tight. And unfortunately, I think it's too tight to call. Based on our point system here, Madalenis and Thomas Bressi are differentiated by less than 3 points, but one way or the other, we can't tell you right now. We'll request, of course, from the admins to figure out what's going on, but as they run, it's basically impossible to call it. Thomas Bressi getting inside the podium would give him a much better chance to outright lead, but right now, they're separated by too little, and neither of which won the pole bonus point. And it means right now it is razor-thin margin. Michael Araya, Elliott Henderson, and DJ Stagner are still the podium above the number 24. Thomas watches them all, and it looks like it might be his easiest opportunity to break in just by getting on the back of Michael Araya. Michael has fallen back to third, Elliott for P2, and Henderson among these drivers is the only one looking for his first career win. We haven't even begun to mention, of course we haven't even begun to mention, that there are drivers tonight going out for that first career W in their very last opportunity. Elliott Henderson being one of which, and right now he is taking it for the race lead, while Thomas Bressi surges and tries to go for third. Elliott Henderson gets down to the inside on DJ Stagner, but Stagner does not give in. However, this is very clearly the closest that Elliott Henderson has been all night long. Take a look on back from the 64. Elliott now only a few car lengths out, but likewise, Thomas Bressi is in third. If Thomas Bressi leads the race and Hunter Madalenis is outside of the top 5, he controls his destiny when it comes to the championship. Hunter is still sitting in 10th, and it looks like he's going to try to get it back on Fife for 9th as they're still side by side. Ethan Lane broke through, and now he's back up to P8. Lane is basically in an impossible position to win the championship, given that he's around Madalenis and then Thomas Bressy's that far ahead. By the numbers, you can't officially rule him out, but it is very possible that Lane just doesn't have a chance from this point onward. 29 laps to go. All these drivers that you're looking at right here went down to pit road at about lap 90. Bressi, by technicality, went in at 89. And so if they're going to finish this race out, they should be able to do so on this final stint. It'll be about a 50-lap run. It is very achievable. Maybe a little bit of saving for some guys who were aggressive early, but it shouldn't be a game-over circumstance. Bressi up to second, now trying to go by with DJ Stagner. Osmer splits him 3, gets by. The lapper's quicker, and again, he's in the leading fight. Much like it was between Stagner and Laraya early on. Quickly, Osmer pulls through, and it's a second chance now for Thomas Bressi. 28 laps to go, coming to 27. For Bresci, this championship would be catharsis after seasons, consecutive seasons, just outside of winning the title. This would be the moment that eclipses everything and makes all those seasons of trials and tribulations worth it. Madalenis gets up to ninth. He's still being hotly contested now by Tom Wetmore. And Michael Stroll's there as well. Michael not going to slot back in line, not trying to give in, and he'll hope to get to the outside on Madalenis again as they run across the line. Thomas Bresci is your race leader, and just slightly ahead across the stripe, it was Hunter Madalenis. That was 29 one-thousandths of a second separating your 9th and 10th place drivers. Tom Wetmore's there too. Bresci now leads by a quarter second with 26 laps to go. 26 laps to go. Last year, same track, same circumstance. Madalenis was leading the championship and the race. He lost thanks to an internet failure. The only internet failure he had recorded on the season. And that did him in for the championship. Now with the final stretch in his hands once again, he's hoping that that's not how it goes down. Wow, Ethan Lane, big surge, gets him up to 5th. He'll go high, get it ahead of Jack Trucker. Talk about a move. And that one shoves him all the way up to the top of the track. Hunter Madalenis in 9th. Tom Wetmore looking faster. If it shoots him down to 10th, he won't be in a position to lead the title race. Matthew Thunhorst is also right now in P12, and if there's anything he can do at helping his JTM teammate, it would be getting by Hunter. Looking here with Thunhorst, last time by a 34.751, that was 0.3 faster than Madalenis. And if Thunhorst keeps the pace he has, he would very easily get in this top 10 battle and really shake things up. Bresci leads with 24 laps to go on the season. This could be it. Madalenis and the number 69 here of Tom Wetmore toe-to-toe with one another and inching toward the line and, of course, inching toward the end of their campaigns. What an amazing season it has been for all of these drivers. And now they're all at each other for the most important prize of all. Thunhorst, seeing his championship-bound teammate trying to go for it, is hoping to get up to another rival in Madalenis. Hunter now 9th. Oh, and if Matthew gets by, that puts him again, Hunter, in a very, very dangerous situation. 23 laps to go this time through. For the final time this season, we're going to crank it up with Whiplash SimCams, iRacing's best camera provider. Getting loud from the Homestead-Miami Speedway with our final crank it up of the season. Bresci leads the championship race with 22 laps to go. Let's crank it up from Homestead. Hunter Madalenis running now in 8th, and if there's any final shot for him to get up there, he's got to use it here and now. Just got by Matthew Thunhorst and Jack Drucker alike, but the fight is not nearly over. Taking a look at it again, as it's going to be Drucker getting down to the inside, Thunhorst staying on his back end, and moreover, Michael Stroll nor Jacob Fife have left the top 10 battle. But Thomas Bressi has left everyone else behind, and he is running his own race. 17 laps to go. He has done everything he needs to do to win this championship. Everything he can do anyway. He has gone from 29th on the grid all the way up to 1st. That's step 1. Next, hope that Hunter Madalenis stays considerably far behind him. Right now, he is still on that bubble. Hunter right now is in 8th. Thomas, of course, leads. If he was brought back down to 10th, it would be an impossibility for Madalenis to win the championship. But if Hunter has one final good run in these next few laps, it could still be a toe-to-toe battle until the very end. The only issue is he has not been able to rack up any bonus points, whereas Thomas has a few to work with. 15 laps to go next time by, and he just came across the line, so make it now for Hunter Madalenis. Ethan Lane is in 2nd, and he's leading this pack. Then there's Thomas Bressi leading this race. Michael Stroll catching back up to Jack Drucker. Watches it become a single file run again. That time by 35.046 for the number 07. And Tom Wetmore was only about 3/1000ths of a second slower. So they're running practically identical times for positions 7 and 8. That's not nearly enough for anything to change. Hunter goes high again. And Elliott Henderson having an amazing race and really a career best run in the final moments of this season. If he's able to hang on for the podium, it will be a tremendous night to look back on for the 37 crew and a testament to all the work that they put in throughout the season, and of course a lot of work to get to this point, and finally it's all paying off. So great to see for Elliott Henderson, and hopefully we see a lot more out of him over the coming seasons, of course, in 2026 and beyond. A part-time rookie this season, and now really showing his best ability in these last moments that are oh so important. 13 laps to go. Hunter Madalenis still behind Tom Wetmore. And now becomes that battle. Can he get by the invisible barrier that is holding him back? Hunter in P8. Tom Wetmore's in 7th. The top 5 is a few seconds ahead. Thomas Bressi leads this field by 3 seconds with 13 laps to go. It's a baker's dozen to do it. Last year at this very moment, he disconnected from the race, and there is no guarantee that a year later he would be back in this position all over again. And yet now, it looks like, so similar to how 2024 ended, Thomas Bressi has returned, out in his own world, away from everyone else, and it doesn't matter who's on the field with them now. This is it, and this race could be his. Less than a dozen to do it, making 11 laps to go. Hunter Madalenis is still yet to make it by. He's now stuck up on that outside line, right with Tom Wetmore, trying to find a mistake, waiting to make a move. If the opening comes, he is sure to take it. Tarbuck has taken 3rd from Elliott Henderson. Wetmore watching, way to the inside. Here comes Hunter Madalenis. Talk about a nice surge there as the 07 gets it up top. And Hunter with a critical pass. Can he go for any more with 10 laps remaining? That pass was long in the making, and now to look for more in the final laps. Hunter in the top 5 would thwart Thomas Bressi's effort of winning this title. 9 laps to go. Every moment, every pass, now meaning so much more. Matthew Thunhorst getting the inside on Thomas Bressi. Of course, Tom Wetmore rather. Bressy's now more than 3 seconds up. If Thunhorst gets back by Hunter Madalenis, that'll put Hunter in the exact same spot and stall him out. DJ Stagner here, knowing the championship is on the line. He was in this very same position 2 years ago, trying to fight for the 2023 title. And he'll keep at it. 8 laps remain. Thomas Bressi basically out of this conversation, but Matthew Thunhorst has put himself right back in it. He'll get by and fully clear Tom Wetmore, only for another attempt again. Here comes the number 69. And here comes Madalenis to the inside on DJ Stagner. Coming up the track, losing a lot of momentum. DJ right behind him. He has to stall himself out. No contact. And Madalenis takes the spot. That's for 6th. 7 laps to go. It's a battle playing out on both sides of the field. One thing is for certain, though. Hunter's going to have a harder time now getting up to the top 5 as he stalls himself out, and that gives Lariah a lot of room. Tom Wetmore trying to get it now, and DJ Stagner. It's a 3-car gaggle that has left Madalenis here in 6th and alone. There's no telling what's going to happen here. Bressi again has the bonus points for leading and is set to win this race. Is that all he'll need to win the title? Or is he going to need to see Wetmore, Stagner, and Thunhorst pull themselves back? Coming to 5 laps to go this time by. This is a ridiculously tense moment for both drivers here. For Bressi, there's nothing more he can do. He has to count these laps down and come to the checkered flag no matter what. And there's nothing that he can expect now other than to wait and figure out what happens. He'll have no confirmation as to whether or not he wins the championship until he crosses that line. When the points are awarded, the dust is settled, then he will know. 4 laps to go this time by. Hunter Madalenis still chasing down Michael Araya, every spot more important than the next, as Hunter tries to keep Matthew Thunhorst at bay. Here's Josh Gallagher here. He's one of the lappers in the mix. He's way back. No trouble throughout the rest of the field. Madalenis still looking as Henderson and Lariah go side by side. Stage points also yet to be awarded. Bonus points could be the difference maker. Each position counting as an additional point. So right now, Thomas would only claim 5 back based on guaranteed race points relative to Madalenis, plus a bonus point for leading at least a lap. Stage points might be the difference maker. And keep in mind that Thomas Bressi was able to get right up there with Hunter Madalenis at the time of the stage, and that's where things will be dicey. Championship is yet to be claimed, but look now as Matthew Thunhorst has gotten by Madalenis. Hunter now back in 7th, and Wetmore with a shot to take one more spot, which could put him back in 8th. For Bressi, there's nothing he can look back at and find out. 2 laps to go. Hunter now running in the 7th spot, blocked by Bressi's teammate. White flag is set to fly on the season and the series next time by. Wetmore still a little bit too far behind to get himself involved in this fight. If Madalenis has anything left, he'll have to give it from his own power. Watch what happens here. 1 lap to go. Madalenis losing 6 points relative to Bressi on the run down to the checkered flag. 980 days ago, the 2023 Ignite Series began, and we saw for the very first time Thomas Bressi. Year after year after year, he has finished 2nd in the championship standings. Tonight, no flaws in his race. He has done everything he can do. He'll win the final Integrity Ignite Series race coming across the line, your winner from Homestead, Matt across the line. He will take 7th. Thomas Bressi from 29th on the grid. He claims victory. Race officials will determine your champion. As the 07 remains on the track, so does Bressi. Nearly 1,000 days ago, this quest for a championship begun. And as everyone comes up to Thomas Bressi, it is clear as day that after all those months and those years of sacrifice, this is his closest shot. Hunter Madalenas, the rookie, the 5-time winner, burns it down. So does Thomas Bressi. We don't know which of them has officially claimed the title. Well, it looks like the news is in as Bressi's burning it down. The 07 is right there. Hunter, he's got himself burning it down right alongside Bressi. And as Thomas wins this final race, the call is in. Hunter Madalenas has found a way. Checkered flag to Bressi, but the title goes to your 5-time race winner, the rookie. In his only season and only opportunity, what a way to do it. Hunter Madalenas has made it happen. And the celebration continues as both drivers burn it down. Hunter Madalenas, for the 2025 season, he is a champion. He's heading down a pit road right now. And with one more race win, Thomas Bressi takes it to the outside and goes across the track for the last time. The rookie with the title, the veteran with the race win, and Madalenas is the last champion of the Ignite Series. And with your last race winner being Thomas Bressi, what a way to end this 90-race run of the Integrity Ignite Series. Homestead. The track goes quiet, the field falls away, and a night of action has come to a close. We'll come back with your race results and post-race interviews right after this. You're watching the Homestead-Miami Speedway live on FTN. We'll be right back with your final calls of the night.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Race Control working on the championship margin, but by all accounts they have confirmed that your champion for the 2025 season is Hunter Madalenas. And second in the points, Thomas Bressi goes from 29th to 1st to win from Homestead. Nick Tarbuck finishes second. Ethan Lane wraps up the podium. He'll compete again for a title as your top seed tomorrow night. Matthew Thunhorst and Michael Araya wrap up the top 5. Lariah leads the most laps as Hunter Madalenas, your champion, finishes in 6th. Elliott Henderson goes 7th. 8th, Tom Wetmore. Justin Morton P9 and DJ Stagner wraps up your final top 10. Your initial champion, the very first to ever do it, is the last man of the top 10 today. 11th place on the order after that will be Michael Stroll in his return race. Jack Drucker goes 12th, Nicholas Ward goes 13th, and Boomer Logan P14. With Jacob Fife wrapping up the top 15, you'll then have Kyle Cooper, Casey Shue, Brent McClendon, Josh Gallagher, and Stephen Durham in the top 20. Last drivers on the day, Brandon Bernhardt, Ronnie Osmer, Daco Parka, Ryan Potter, Andrew Schaub, with Tyler Hensley, Vinny Tigner, Jared Davis, Calvin Filarski, and Adam Wood, 30th and last. What a season it has been, and what a fight for the championship. While Hunter Madalenas could not win this race, the championship still comes his way, the 10-point buffer being exactly what he needed. And so now we'll bring the champion to the broadcast booth. 5 wins, the most important coming last week, and tonight proved to be just enough. 6th place, and right across the line, you find yourself a champion as a rookie, Hunter. What a season.
I can't believe it. Man, hell of a race by Bressie. You know, he had his problems at the beginning of the race with his VR not working, and for him to be in that first run, he was already passing me, and I mean, he did everything he could to try and win, and I've never had a stressful last couple laps to a race ever. I was so unbelievably tight. The right front tires were just so burned that, I mean, they wouldn't rotate at all. And Thunhorst got me, and a couple other people got me, and I was all the way there in 9th, and I was like, there's no way that I come back from this. But I kept dogging it, kept one position at a time, one spot at a time, and I can't believe I clawed up enough to take it by 2 points.
And a 2-point margin is all it comes down to. You talk about those last moments. The race came down to the final positions, and every spot mattered. What was it like for you managing that car and making passes at the end, even with those troubles in handling?
It was impossible. I mean, I don't even know how I made a single position up or how I had tires still left on the car. I kept trying to run the wall. I kept trying to gas it up early, and the car would never grip. And, I lost the spot to Thunhorst, and after that, not knowing how the point situation was, I thought that was it. And coming off of 4, Elliott got into the wall. Lariah got checked up by it. I almost got both of those two, and I thought maybe if I got both of them, it was going to be guaranteed, but then I didn't get Lariah, so I was like, oh, maybe, it's pretty close. But yeah, I mean, would have been an incredible year. For this year to be the first year, racing around everybody, I had to learn and adapt to everyone's driving styles, actually running clean, and I just can't. If you would have told me when I started the year at Atlanta that I would be the champion come the end of the year, I wouldn't have believed you.
And what a way to cap off a rookie season, no less. Of course, the numbers speaking for themselves. 5 victories and this title coming your way. With that in mind, what are the goals now as a champion to go into next year?
Yeah, man, I don't know what the plan is with Ignite. I would love to come race Tuesday, so that might be a possibility later in the future, maybe next year. But I just gonna enjoy it tonight. Gonna celebrate this one definitely a lot. I still can't believe it even now, knowing that I won it. But yeah, just big thanks to everyone in this league. They were also just warming to invite everyone. I felt like even though I was a rookie, I didn't get raced like a rookie. I got raced like everybody out on the track. And, some of the battles I had this season were some of the best I've ever had on iRacing. So just want to give a big shout out to, the admins, to everyone that race in the series, to you, David, for broadcasting it every week. I just big thanks to everyone. And I'm really sad that this series is all wrapped up after this.
And just like that, finishing it off with the one and only chance this team had. Hunter Madalenis, you are a champion of the Ignite Series. If you have any final shout-outs you'd like to send out or any last comments, it's all yours.
Yeah, big shout out to anyone who's watching. I know I sent the stream out to literally everyone I knew to try and get people to watch. But, gosh, just, yeah, big thanks again to everyone in this league. Just everyone who's been me the step of the way, helping. Shout out to Bressy. He did everything he could. Shout out to everyone else who made the playoffs this year. Gonna really miss everybody, but I'm really proud this is how I go out.
And a one-and-done run unlike any other. Hunter Madalenis, a champion when it's all said and done here from Homestead. Thank you for your time and congratulations on the season.
Thank you for everything, David.
With Hunter on the move, he just barely eclipses Thomas Bressy. And even as he wins tonight, it's another 2-point margin that shuts him down from a title, as it was in our very first season. Regardless, a race to be proud of for this crew, going from 29th to 1st and winning against all odds and just coming up a little short in the title. Nevertheless, final victory in the Ignite Series for you, Thomas.
Yeah, it was not a great start to the night. I've been battling hardware issues pretty much all year, or since the spring. I don't really know what it is, although I think this last week I may have narrowed it down to a motherboard issue. But anyways, my VR started freezing on me like every 10 seconds as soon as qualifying started. So I couldn't even see long enough to attempt to put a crap lap on the board. And was just hoping it didn't rear its ugly head later in the race. But, title was a long shot after last week. I think everybody kind of probably knew that going into the night. I was saying to Hunter, I wish we were probably like level on points. It would have been either level, or I thought maybe I would have been a point or two ahead of him after last week. But somebody took care of that, which I think we all saw, and that's why they're not racing this week. So, yeah, I don't know. It's bittersweet, I guess, in one sense. Kind of makes up for last year when I should have won there and had the server issue thing that knocked us out with 11 to go. And I don't know. It was a lot, like I said, it was a long shot anyways. And, it's been a rough year for us. Just as a team in general. I don't even just mean me. I mean, all the JT Motorsports guys. It's been a difficult last half of the year with just some of the off-track stuff that's been going on that has kind of taken away from what this series used to be, and it was kind of a disappointing way to let things end, and just wanted to try to end with some, hate to use the word, integrity. So that's what we did. Won the race. And I don't know, there were people that said they weren't worried about me at all because I'm not as good as they think I am. So I pulled their pants down tonight and made them look stupid, and they can worry about me next year because I won't be here.
Now, 29th up to the top of the field, you had to deal with going from all the way back, and a lot of that climb came under green. What was it like having to go from, of course, that distance so quickly?
Yeah, I kind of, the start was weird as well. I'd kind of left a little space just, again, with the tech issues that I've had. I have some of my graphics turned down, so I couldn't even see the leader. And something happened where I don't know why the inside lane stacked up, and I pedaled it a little bit, so I didn't run into, I think it was Potter that was in front of me. And then they checked up again, and right when I hit the start finish line, I just, popped left down to the bottom, and I passed, I think, 7 cars on the first lap. And then there was the quick yellow, and I don't know. I was curious as well. I felt good about my chances tonight, at least of having a good race. just based on how last year went. I know obviously it's been a year and a lot changes, but I felt decent with how I did last year, that I'd be okay again tonight. I was just worried kind of after that first yellow, I wasn't making up the ground that I thought I would. And I thought I hurt the right front tire in traffic and everything else. And then just kind of before that first set of pit stops, it started rolling. I was like, and I saw, Hunter was coming back to me. Lariah was coming back. Ethan was coming back. And I was like, all right, we're cooking here. So I just kind of wanted to let it pan out a little bit. Kind of had that weird yellow after the pit cycle, which kind of complicated things. And I was like, well, the short runs will be okay, I guess. And then we got the last one and I was like, cool, 50 laps plus. This is right in my wheelhouse. And those guys started ripping the boards when we went back green. I'm like, y'all do your thing. I'll see you later. And it worked out. So, it was a challenge just trying to be disciplined. It was kind of one of the things I talked about with my teammates earlier in the day, just kind of the lines that we needed to be. And I was like, you just got to stay disciplined with your inputs and where you're putting the car. And ultimately it worked out. And I was wondering if it would fall off at the end a little bit. And I saw Ethan coming back forward. And once he got to second, he just quit closing. And I was like, cool, we're chilling. So just hit my marks and brought this damn thing home.
So, ending this run with a championship, of course, just eluding you, but a victory at long last, getting the job done here at Homestead, something that's been long awaited for this team. And so, in wrapping up these 3 seasons, are there any final takeaways you have? Of course, you've been with us since the start of the Ignite series, and now you're here for the end.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's bittersweet. We had a great thing here. Go back to last year. Forget Homestead. I was watching the broadcast back earlier from last year, and I remember even one of the things you talked about was the parity that we had, and 17 different winners in 30 races. It was, God, we had it so good. So just thanks to everybody that made the Ignite series what it was, and all the partners that we had here in the league, especially Next Level Racing. I'm very thankful for the rig that I have. I love it. It's literally the coolest part of my setup. So if you're on the fence about getting one or whatever, do it. Just pull the trigger and make it happen. It's totally worth it. Just the partners that we've had, everybody at JT Motorsports that have busted their backsides all year and have given it 110%, even if, it was, hard to do that at times. I'm proud of the guys for sticking it out to the end, and the series admins that made Monday nights special and always ruled with integrity and lived up to the motto of what the league is supposed to be. And of course, you for covering us from the beginning. It's been a pleasure, and I know we didn't get to do the helmet cam thing very much this year. Again, I was trying to save resources with some of the issues that I've had. That was fortunately one of the things I had to cut, but it was fun getting to do that and share that side of kind of what I see. And I know we got other people doing it in the past as well, and sharing how we all go racing on Mondays. And it's been a blast. So it's not a goodbye. It's just to see you later. I think there's I look forward to seeing a lot of these people again next year. I'm excited for what we've been working on and what's coming. So I'm ready to get back to having fun next year, but it was we had some fun here in the meantime.
Thomas Bressi, the last race winner of the Integrity Ignite series, and if there's anything else you of course like to add, we'll let you have one more spot here.
Yeah, I guess last thing as well, I forgot, just thanks to everybody that watches every week and tunes in and watches and leaves comments and everything. A lot of us go back and watch the broadcast and we see it, so it's appreciated, whether it's in support or not, I guess, as they say, as long as they're making noise. So we appreciate all you guys, and just thanks to everybody that made this what it was.
Thomas Bressi, your winner in our 90th and final race here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Thank you for your time.
Take care, man.
Then you got the rest of your podium, and it begins with two drivers. Well, it begins and ends with the last two drivers we're going to hear from, who we will be seeing tomorrow. So let's get on to your second place driver, the number 29 of Nick Tarbuck, who was able to scrape through in a very close battle from second on down to 8th and take away P2 in our last race here at Homestead.
Yes, sir. Good to see you for the final time for the old Ignite series, man. That's good season all in all. If I didn't have that bad stretch of races there at the beginning of the playoffs, I think I kind of proved that I would have been in the fight for this thing. But I wanted to finish off strong this week. I wanted to get as high as I could. I was not going to mess any of the playoff guys up, but I was not going to lay over for them. So coming second is well, I don't think anybody was going to catch Bressie there at the end, except for maybe Ethan if he didn't get damaged. But second was good. Good way to close it out. Drama-free. Long run speed, classic. Just the thing that I tend to excel at, long run speed. So just glad that we closed it out without any drama, without any nonsense. Yeah, man, it was a pretty good, straightforward way to finish it out.
Now, by all accounts, a great, consistent final run here. You mentioned not trying to get involved with those championship guys. Was the goal even still to go out there and try to win this one?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to lay over for them, right? I'm not going to wreck them. I'm not going to try to do anything like race them really hard, pinch them into the wall or anything like that. But I was going to try to win it for sure. I mean, I went 3 wide, a couple of restarts in a row trying to make some moves. But, I know the bottom was fast, but if you had to fight people, I feel like it really just went away quick. Your front tires just lost all kinds of grip. And I never even gave a shot at running the high line. So I think that because the high line was fast in some parts, I think Bressie was running the high line a bit. I know Ethan got some speed on the high line. If the high line was actually the way to win the race, I wouldn't have won it, but I was going to keep, I was pretty close. I mean, second place, not close by distance or time, but I was close in terms of position. So I was definitely going for it, man. But, Bressie did a really good job at running the race, and I think Hunter won the championship. Not really sure who won what, but congrats to whoever did the winning. It was really hard fought across the whole field, across all the playoff guys. But yeah, I was definitely going to try to steal one out from under everybody.
Now, by all accounts, you still have a championship to go out there and fight for one more time tomorrow night. So you got anything for us when it comes to previewing that battle?
Yeah, man, that's going to be close. I need a miracle and a half to win that one. I think I need basically, I think I need like everybody to have a bad night, not even really get one lap complete, and I can win the race, and then maybe I'll win the championship there. But, crazy things happen. So we'll see. I'm going to try my best, like always, hoping for some long runs, hoping for some nice methodical racing tomorrow night. Same as tonight, kind of. Would like to get the similar kind of vibe from tonight over to tomorrow, but we'll see, man. Tomorrow's going to be just kind of, I hate to make it seem like I don't have control over my own fate, but it's really going to be a lot of circumstances that have to work out in my favor for things to really line up for me to win the championship. But like I said, man, it's racing. Crazy things happen.
Well, we will see what happens now with one more race left to go on Tuesday night. But to end it here in the Ignite Series, second place, Nick, any final comments you'd like to send out?
Yeah, man. Well, first, I want to thank the admins for putting on a good race and a good season. You for broadcasting, as always. This whole season was great. I want to thank the boys back home, my mom, my dad, and my wife for watching tonight. And I just want to kind of comment on, I know the season had some rough spots internally, and there's a lot of kind of internal conversations and a lot of opinions about how things went, but we had a fantastic season by all accounts. I mean, a rookie might have won the championship. We have all kinds of great awards throughout the year for everybody that participates and stuff. It was great. It's a shame that it's going away, but who knows where we'll see each other next, but hopefully another Monday Night League will come around and replicate the success we had here.
Nick Tarbuck, to end the ride on Monday nights, finishes it out with one more podium from Miami. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
And with one more on the podium on the day, your final podium sitter in the Ignite Series, it's Ethan Lane, who runs third. And it looks like, while unfortunately tonight it would have been win or nothing for the 6 crew, just couldn't happen. And of course, nonetheless, a third place finish, a final podium on a 9-win season.
Yeah, I won that 10th one bad for sure. But we got damage on that last restart, and it absolutely killed any speed the car had. I had virtually no rotation after that, so I just couldn't do anything. But yeah, overall good race. Race kind of changed when everyone was in the middle of the green flag stopped. But yeah, we'll take a third. We'll be happy to have a break after this week for sure. But yeah, no, third's fine. We needed a lot to happen to have a shot at the championship, and unfortunately, that did not happen.
Now, of course, even though the championship was a bit of a long shot points-wise, this car and this team were still very strong. You qualified on the podium, and you kept yourself in that leading fight all night long. Of course, there was only so much higher you could go. Was there anything specifically in mind you think that could have happened that could have helped out your cause any further?
Not getting damage on that final restart. I felt like we had probably one of the better long run cars, especially after that first run. We were one of the only people who could run the boards lap after lap after lap and still maintain lap time. Other than that, I don't know. Bressy was quick tonight, so congrats to him on the win. Also, congrats to Hunter on winning the final championship of an Ignite. Kind of wish we had those 2 races back of Vegas and Bristol, but that's what playoffs do to you.
Just like that, while the Ignite Series comes to a close, there still is one more chance for you, as we've seen with you and Nick Tarbuck both battling tonight, tomorrow night for the championship, where the odds are perhaps much better in your favor. So with that being said, what's it going to take now to seal the deal on one more title shot next week? And of course, look forward to next year.
Tomorrow it's going to be about finishing. If we can get pole, that's a point. If we can lead a lap, that's a point. If we lead most lap, that's a point. So it's going to determine like how many people show up, and how many points we can gain through the first half of the race after the stage 2 and all that. So we'll see. I know a big points gap's nice, but you never know with these types of deals.
And so now, with this season on its way, of course, even not as a champion, record-shattering with 9 wins in one Ignite Series tour. Ethan Lane, third place on the day. If there's anything else you'd like to tell us here, of course, the floor is yours.
Just thank you for putting on these broadcasts every week, David. It's been fun this year. Looking forward to going out with a bang tomorrow and taking quite a long break and actually enjoying my Monday and Tuesdays. So congrats to Bressy on the win. Congrats to Hunter on the championship. Both well deserved tonight. So yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow and then next year.
Ethan Lane, P3 for the final podium here in the Ignite Series, wrapping it up, third on the day, of course. Thank you once again, Ethan.
Thank you.
And so now that we've gotten a word from our top 3 drivers and our champion, we're going to bring in our league owner, Jacob Fife, for the last message on the night. The 36 team, Jacob Fife, of course, fighting with us from the beginning of this race to the end. Jacob finished in 15th, and we'll bring him in right now. We'll get a word from the number 36 of Jacob Fife. Oh, we're not able to bring him in, but we'll make sure he comes our way right now, and that we'll finish up our broadcast with a word from Jacob Fife of the Integrity Racing League. So momentarily, we'll have the 36 of Fife with us here to wrap up the night. So now he's ready, and we'll bring him in. Jacob Fife of the Integrity Racing League coming in to stop by and talk to us after 90 races and 3 years. The Integrity Ignite Series is unfortunately, and I'm sure regretfully for a lot of these drivers, is now come to pass. Our last champion has been crowned. Our last winner has been decided, and what a run it has been, first and foremost.
Yeah, it's been an incredible 3 years. Congratulations to Bresci on the win tonight and Hunter on taking the championship. It was definitely a really good battle there for the last 50 laps or so. And ultimately, clean racing, which has kind of been the staple of both of our series for the most part. Obviously, we have our ups and downs just like any league, but there was a lot of guys on top of each other there towards the end racing around Hunter, and it came down to the last couple laps on whether Hunter could grab a couple spots there, or was Bresci going to be able to pull it out. So very very exciting finish, and very good way to finish out the Ignite season for 2025 as well as the series as a whole.
Of course, our final week here in 2025, crowning two champions, one today and one tomorrow. Is there anything you can let us know about what we expect to see for 2026?
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to coming back with our Tuesday night series. Uh, you know, eh, Sometimes there's things that are more important than sim racing, believe it or not, uh, and life gets in the way with different things that people have going on. We all have busy lives, so we had kind of made the decision pretty early in the season that Monday night wasn't coming back for various reasons, but the most of which is just the time commitment that's involved in trying to run two series at once was definitely a part of that decision. Because if we want to do it, we want to do it the right way, obviously, and the time and commitment that's there is pretty difficult to pull off. And our admins do a really good job, and I appreciate everybody from Monday night, from Boomer to Brandon to Cal, and then previous to that with Stroll the first 2 years as well, helping move the Ignite series along to what it was, and closing it out on a solid note there. But we will be back with Tuesday nights next year. We're looking forward to that. I think we're very much into if it's not broke, don't fix it. We've had some really incredible fields and races with Tuesday night as well, as I hope you see tomorrow night at Chicagoland to close out our Tuesday night season there for Octane. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to we have a development program that we're offering for free in the off season where any of our members on either night for that matter, if they have friends or anybody who wants to join, we have some of our top guys in the league who are going to give advice and uh, tips on how to get better and kind of enjoy whether you go somewhere else or stay here or your official racing. We want to provide that for our members. So I'm looking forward to kind of digging into that in the off season as our as something that we're going to do as we kind of prep for 2026. And then, like I said, before you know it, we'll get through holiday season, and then we'll be right back into recruiting and getting on all those things for our Tuesday night series, which I'm really looking forward to. I think we've built a pretty solid group on Tuesday nights, and I'm just looking forward to build on that and then see where it takes us. So a lot of positive things to look forward to as we move forward here.
And of course, as an individual driver, you were with us tonight running 15th at the end of it all. Now, of course, we talk about the series and what's next to come. A lot of exciting news. And of course, our Tuesday night group returning again as a driver. How is it for you reflecting on this season and, of course, your final performance?
Ah, man, it's highs and lows, right? I think I've had a couple races there um, with like last place finishes and stuff. Missed the playoffs by 1 point to I believe it was Justin Morton right there at the very end, battling for that. Um, but I mean, that just goes to show how competitive this series is. Well, both of them really, but how a competitive Ignite series is, and the battles that go on here are, you've got to earn every spot. So if you're not on top of your game every week, you run the risk of not making the playoffs. But all in all, I felt it was a good season. I felt I finished fairly strong. Tonight's not a very good indication of that. I did not do very well with tire saving tonight, but all in all, I think on a personal level, it was a good season for the Ignite series. Happy to represent Sim Motion on our car here for Monday and Tuesday nights, and got them a few good finishes there, some interviews, and like I said, looking forward to Tuesday night or tomorrow night. Uh, and having another solid run to finish out the 2025 season.
Jacob Fife, 15th to end our final Ignite Series race. And of course, looking forward to leading the Integrity Racing League crew into what's next to come for 2026. Thank you, Jacob, for your time.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it, bud.
And with Jacob on the way, you've heard from our league owner, 90 races in the books. And from the beginning of the 2023 season to the end of 2025, this series has been nothing short of a thriller. Checkered flag, Thomas Bressi, your final ever winner in the Integrity Ignite Series. Hunter Madalenas, your final champion, winning the 2025 title as a 5-time winning rookie. And the stats speak for themselves. Hunter, your title winner, takes it home with, of course, a remarkable season. He had himself 15 top 5s and 18 top 10s at the end of it all. What a campaign. Hunter Madalenas 2 points over Thomas Bressi for the title. Tomorrow, we crown ourselves an Octane Series champion. That's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern to end the 2025 Integrity Racing League Series, both the Ignite and Octane campaigns. Chicagoland on FTN Broadcasting. Until then, thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing all throughout our 3 years, and we can't wait to be back with the Integrity Racing League for 2026 and beyond. Congratulations to Thomas Bressi on the victory and Hunter Madalenas on the championship. Thank you for tuning in for every one of our 90 races along the way. Monday nights won't be the same without the Ignite Series. We'll be back on Tuesday nights next week and next year, and we'd hope to have you there. Thank you all for your support. We hope you have a fantastic night, and we can't have, of course, a lot of time until our next broadcast. We'll suit up, get ready to go. The final 5 on the Octane Series side. They go at it one more time tomorrow. We'd love to have you there. Thank you for your support. Have a fantastic night.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Welcome to the Underdog Racing Podcast, where we talk to NASCAR drivers from all over the great country of America. Each week, we chat about the latest races, share stories from the track, and get to know the drivers behind the wheel. We break down the action, hear from drivers about their experiences, and dive into what drives them to keep racing. Whether you're a longtime NASCAR fan or just curious about the sport, this is the place for you. So tune in to the Underdog Racing Podcast, your inside look at the world of NASCAR. Catch us every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.